Well, hello, everybody. Margot Levette here, back with another episode of Intentional Conversation Podcast. You know, this is the platform that was created for authors and entrepreneurs. And if you want to come on and talk about your book, talk about your business, go to www.margotlevette and go down to podcast, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and make your request known. Well, today, I just want to bring an excellent body of work to your attention. You know, everybody likes a good cop story, including myself. Well, today I have author Roland Sato Page here, and he just wrote a novel that has me on the edge of my seat, and I haven't even had a chance to read it in totality. It is Eating the Forbidden Fruit. And Roland, thanks for coming on and spending some time with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and it's my honor and pleasure. Yeah, I've been waiting for this, just to talk to you.
That is so cool, because I feel the same way. I've been waiting to talk to you, too. What I understand about Eating the Forbidden Fruit, this is a novel that is not going to disappoint the readers in any way, shape, or form or fashion. So a great cop story can be it can take on many different forms. Give us a little background on Eating the Forbidden Fruit. I understand that you are a former St. Louis City police officer. This book is about your rise and, as some may say, your demise. And just take us on into setting up the background for this. And then we'll move into why you decided to tell your story.
Exactly. I would like to say I don't really consider myself an author as of yet. I'm consider myself a humble man who wants to share his story. We'll see how in the future how it come along and if I deserve that title as an author. But I wrote the book basically over a year ago. I lost my mother, and I spiraled into a deep depression because I also had lupus. So it was like a double smack, and my family encouraged me. They said, my wife and my boys said, like, Pops, you got to get out this slump, these woes. And so why don't you just find a path that would help you, another passion? And I'm an artist. I'm a former tattoo artist. That's a career after the police department. And lupus put a halt to that. And with my mother passing, I just needed something to help me distract. So thus, Eating the Forbidden Fruit. And for me to write, it had to be something that I have personal experience with. And what better thing was to tell my story of the past back in the 90s, mid-90s, 96 it was. I went through a federal indictment and as a police officer. That's one of the most as a nightmare. Some things I had nightmares growing up about getting eaten by a shark because you drown and you're getting eaten by a shark. Yeah, but to be a police officer and you're booking somebody in the noontime, and this is real, Margo, at 9 o'clock that night, the FBI was booking me in. And, just to share to my readers, I'm sure we all saw CSI, a lot of these crime shows, and you ask yourself the question, could I turn in my family member? And this is what's setting up my book. That happened to me. I didn't turn on my family. And being a cop, having knowledge of what my family was doing is part of that conspiracy. Because even though I may not have physically involved, but I had knowledge. Because when you take an oath as a police officer, you have to act on any criminal activity. And if you don't, that's another charge in itself, That's hindering prosecution. So I was hit with a lot of federal charges, and, I took it on the chin because I was guilty, Margaret, I was guilty, and I knew I was guilty, and I just felt to do the right thing was to just accept my punishment, reintroduce, come out a better man, and that's what I did. And that's what eating forbidden fruit is about. The title is self-explanatory. It's about a man engaging in sin. You know, it's just not. You think about cops planting evidence. It's other things, ethical things, infidelity, alcoholism. It's so many other temptations and things that stress that police officers go through. Hello?
A part of it. Let me ask you, Roland, were you when you became aware of what was going on, did you want to beat them up for even involving you, for even letting you know about this information because you knew what it was going to mean to you, the fact that you now have this knowledge? Did you beat them up, or how did you react to them?
No, I didn't hold anybody. I don't, to this day, I have no animosity for law enforcement. I still respect them. I'm gonna tell you, it's hard. Like in a city of like St. Louis, it's hard for a African American, a black officer, because you kind of get ridiculed from both ends. Even on the being an officer in the community, which I had a good relationship with my community, because that was my community. See, as a cop, I never had no mentality, and not just saying black. I'm just with people. White, black is not us against them. I always it was most stress came from dealing with the politics of the department. I always got enjoyment out of dealing with the people, so I hold no animosity. It takes a strong person to put on that badge. It just wasn't for me. I was aware of what I did, and when you get the book, you'll kind of see how things are played out. It's really, it's a real deep book, because a lot of people go through this. We all fall from grace, more than once. I have, well, from being federally indicted to having lupus to my wife leaving me and me have to go back to start the relationship to make somebody you pushed away fall back in love with you. So that's what's eating the forbidden fruit is just not an urban crime. It's a true romance. It's comedy when you think about the little things when you grew up. And I think everybody would be able to relate to it. I will tell some of the academics, because fortunately I received a lot of good feedback. But it's always the few who say, like, well, your translation. And I said, like, look, I got to bring you to the streets of St. Louis as a cop or just dealing with the streets. Me, I grew up in the streets. I grew up with a positive role model of my family, but I was exposed to a lot of things that probably led to my demise. For me to help you understand, it has to be through my voice. Because there's no classroom.
A good author is going to do that anyway. I mean, if you were going to really make this authentic, and people are not going to say, oh, he's embellishing this, or he's copying somebody else. It had to be in your vernacular. It had to be through your eyes. That's what's making this thing so great. You agree?
I agree. I agree totally. It had to be in my interpretation. And that's what a lot of people are going to find out. Me just growing up, but neither one of my parents are from this country. However, I consider myself a proud African American, but they're just my parents aren't from this country. So I traveled. I'm from a military background. Grew up visited almost every military base there is on the U.S. soil, as well as I'm a former Army. veteran. So I've seen different cultures and everything. So I shared it all with everybody.
It seems like you really are going to keep us on the edge of our seat, taking us deep inside of all of the ins and outs.
Are you
going to take us?
What you want?
You going to make us know what you were thinking when all of this goes down? Are you going to take us in that deep?
Okay, let me do it. I will share that with you tomorrow because I think so much of you. I'm a man with bad karma. A lot of people, like you said, you research me, you see how I'm involved with the community and things like that. I wasn't always a good person. I was a bad father, a bad husband. Okay, I did a lot of unsavory things in relationship and many other things. But a person can always change. So when going through that, at first, I was mad at a lot of people. I was mad at the system. But after a while, I just, being a man, I had to say, like, I caused this, the hurt for my family, things for my wife. I will share something from my book. When the feds first locked me up, they went to my wife and showed her pictures of me with other women. Now, I was a tattoo artist, so a lot of things were misinterpreted, but they presented to her like look at this is your husband. And some things was just because I already had a popular business already going. And I think that was one thing because, they knew I could be out in my uniform and some of the things people who they thought were unsavory would come up to me and, just, shake my hand. I'm like, hey, Ro, how you doing, man? When you going to be at the shop? I want another tattoo. That's the respect I had in the community. So, I always felt, I'm going to tell you this too, all right? I had a dream maybe a year before I even started reconnecting with my childhood friends and to be specific, they were drug dealers. But these are guys like that, regardless of what I did, we always said, my brother's keeper. That's in my book. No matter what I was right or wrong, they were always there for me. They never judged me. If I ever needed help, they never turned their back on me. A lot of people in the police department turned their back on me. Some didn't. Many did. They hoped for the worst for me. That's the thing. Like, well, we heard this, and man, he's going away for 20 years, and I heard all that. So yeah, I had a little animosity at first. I was like, screw them, man. But
sure,
when it was all boiled down, I understand that the things I did caused this. I knew when I took that oath as a police officer that the requirements. So did that answer a little bit? Any other questions?
Fruit. My only other question is, and I don't know if I really don't want you to give away too much on the book, but you were on trial.
Yeah.
Well, you were on trial. How much time did they give you, and why weren't you able to write the book while you were actually serving out that time?
Well, because they got statute of limitation, and that's for one reason. I had no intentions to write books. When I was locked up, I was locked up for maybe 2 years. When I was locked up, I kept journals to distract me. I was writing and things like that. I had no intentions on publishing a book because I didn't want to share anything that could reoccur, indictment, or more so put anybody else at jeopardy. And that's why I labeled my book, novel or fiction, to protect the privacy of good individuals, even in the past before this, growing up, the different relationships and whatnot. They're all married. Some are married, but during my trial, I waived the trial. For one, let me clarify that. I waived the trial. Wow. You know, I did go through evidence hearings, and at the end, I just got a little spooked, and I told my attorney I want to leave it up. I want to waive a trial and leave it up to the judge, a federal judge. I don't want a jury because, you know, most people don't like to hear. They, no matter what my situation was, they view corrupt police officer. He probably took something from somebody, violated some constitutional rights. It wasn't like that. It was a dilemma of my loyalty to my childhood friends and the knowledge I had about what they were doing and family members. But the judge, fortunately, God bless his soul, I'm not going to say his name, but he's a federal judge. He recently retired here in Missouri. He felt it was something uncomfortable about the situation, and they really wanted to slam me. I'm going to tell you, I had a judge during my indictment. I had a judge tell me if it was up to me, I would give you 20 years right now. Of course, we used that as ammunition to get a change of venue, and but the judge, the new judge that I had, he just said, like, it's just. This was family members involved. This was family and friends. So I just don't feel comfortable about, you know, charging this man with the maximum. So with that being said, you know, I didn't get scot-free. I got still spanked, but I was shown leniency.
That's a good thing. And now here we are. After statute of limitations have run out, and you are able to really give us an inside look. I think, Roland, when we spoke earlier, you said that you're leaving. This book is also a part of your legacy. And then I'm looking at the time. I don't want to hold you too long.
Right.
Just go into, let us know a little bit about how this is a part of your legacy before we sign off.
The legacy is my kids. Let them know the truth. But the important thing is being a husband, because that's what makes a good family. You know, I wrote this also to clarify to my wife of some of the indiscretions that I did back then. It was never about, because, you know, women want to know, you know, why do you cheat? It's never about trying to replace. It's just the ignorant things that sometimes childish things that we do. And I'm a man with bad karma. Like, truly, like men, we don't like to say about the bad karma, but we have it, and I think that's a God purpose, that's a wake up that when you do wrong, here I'm gonna knock you and let you know to stay on that right path, and that was the whole thing too with the legacy. I mean, being a husband, showing my wife, for her to be able to proofread my book and hear about these things, but then it gets her going, her emotions, but then all of a sudden she'll read the one chapter that says, like, you know, I met my soulmate, that this woman scratched my soul, that she's been with me through thick and thin, and nothing, no other woman, no other situation, money could ever destroy what this woman has given me, a family.
Yeah. That is so
nothing can compare
poetic.
To that, Margot. Nothing.
This is poetic, what you're giving. This is straight poetry, that what you're giving. And, wow, eating the forbidden fruit. Tell us where we're going to be able to pick up a copy, Roland.
March 30th, on Amazon, self-published. But also, if you want to go to my website, and just remember, it's www.authorrolandpage.com. So those, you know, if you Google author Roland Page, you could see my website, pictures. I got pictures of me in the uniform. I got pictures of my mom from overseas. You see me growing up, the different age. I take you on the journey with me, and it also gives you the 411 on my other novels that I'm working on now.
That's what I wondered. That was, well, I said that was the last question, but really and truly, that should be, and this is my last question. Eating the Forbidden Fruit, this is just a prelude to a series, or are the other books taking on another life? What are these other books? What can we expect? And don't go into too much depth, because I want everybody to know about the forbidden fruit. Let's not take shade. Let's not shade the forbidden fruit. Yeah.
It could be a series taker, because like the second book is about my lifestyle, the temptations of being a tattoo artist. The third is Walking the Purple Road. It's my 60-day stay, me battling lupus, some of the natural things that my mother went to Japan to bring back to turn my kidney functions around and stuff. I was about to go on dialysis. So it's an education on everything, but I really didn't want to label it a series, because I like to switch things up. The second one is going to be my son, who's also a junior. His name is Roland, Sato, Lee Page, and he's going to be the main character. So I really didn't want to go into a series. I'm still focused, like you said, Morgan. I'm focused on eating the forbidden fruit. And the accomplishment is just putting it out there for you guys to read, you know.
Yeah.
Some of the proceeds are going to the Lupus Foundation, to the Indigent Lupus Foundation. I want to clarify that, the indigent, because there's people out here with no medical insurance and battling lupus, and I can't imagine there's kids out here going through what I go through. And I consider myself a strong man, and it bring me down to my knees. So, like, it tears me up to think that kids are going through this with no insurance.
Well, you are definitely a leader in your community, an excellent author. I can't wait for you to just take that badge on, wear those shoes, put that suit on, that you earned that. And as we read the Eating the Forbidden Fruit all the more, you're going to get reviews that are going to cause you to know that you are an author. And I thank you for this time, Roland Sato Page. I really appreciate your candor. You're introducing us to such a remarkable novel. I appreciate it greatly.
I appreciate you, Margot, for just being my kindred sister. And, you know, I guarantee you, every project that I have, me and you would never lose communication. I'm going to always come to you.
All right. I'm counting on that, because there's something about you. There's something in the pocket there about you. And when I read the synopsis, I thought, oh, this is going to be good. So give us that date, the release date, one more time, please.
March 30th on Amazon, March 30th.
Okay.
And I just, you know, thank those who want to support me, and I appreciate, you know, everybody.
Okay. Now, listen, on Amazon, can we get it in Kindle, or is it going to be straight hardback?
Oh, yeah, it's on Kindle. Right now you can pre-order it on Kindle right now. It's $2.99. Of course, the paperback will be it'll be $20.99.
Okay,
so, and
we'll be able to get both ways.
Yes,
right,
you can get both ways. Yep. Wow. And there's pictures in the book. I would like the people to know that I put actual photographs in the book to give you a little understanding.
Mm-hmm. Taking us all the way in. Wow. All right. Eating the Forbidden Fruit, coming out soon. Going to be Kindle and hardback over there on Amazon. Wow. What a great conversation. You know, sometimes you just get a feeling about things, and most of the time you're just not wrong. So once again, thank you, Roland. Thank you, audience, for taking time out to listen. Oh, we're going to do this again. We're going to after your book signing, we are going to talk it up again. So
I'm coming back. Yes, whoever the listeners, I'll be back. Yep.
Okay, sounds good. Well, this is Margaret Levette. I'm going to sign off. This is another episode of Intentional Conversation Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be back next time. In the meantime, bye-bye now.